Reaction tonight to the vandalism at a prayer chapel that will soon be the site of the biggest cross in America. Our Brian Burns reports from the site on I-37 across from the Veterans Cemetery at Carbon Plant Road.
This chapel, which was built just a week ago by volunteers, will be a place for those with problems to come and pray once the cross is built.
When I came to church on Sunday morning, 8 o'clock, I saw the graffiti on the building.
This prayer chapel is being built near the base of what will be the tallest cross in America. When complete, it will be 230 feet tall and 90 feet across. A neighbor says she's disappointed that the chapel was vandalized.
It's a shame it's what happened because I'd watched the preacher and his workers build this.
When it's finished, we have Christians from churches all over Corpus Christi are going to volunteer to come in and work 2 to 4 block hours.
We do have some suspects based on the markings, the taggings, the signatures.
Detective Justin Wicks with the Graffiti Task Force says this crime carries a hefty penalty.
Not quite a hate crime, but it is a protected group. So if you vandalize schools, churches, cemeteries, things of that nature, it is classified as a felony. There are possible prison terms associated with felony convictions.
While we were talking with police, the city's graffiti removal team covered the vandalism with paint. Milby says, ironically, the chapel was built for the very people who vandalized the site.
Well, I was disappointed that they'd come by, but that's the very reason we built the chapel. We're trying to reach people, and we did. We reached some people.
Pastor Milby says we could see the first section of the giant cross being erected sometime late next week. From Carbon Plant Road and 37, Brian Burns, 3 News.
Brian, thank you.